Okay, this is a little practice lesson on the Rev.Gary Davis roll. So, I don't know if any of you play banjo, but the Scruggs style roll is not what this is about, and you don't want it to sound in any way like it's a classic bluegrass roll that just goes through a ton of songs. The key to the roll, besides the fingering, is the second beat. So it's the second time you use your thumb, which is the second beat if we were in 4/4. That's accented, so it keeps it off the beat, and that usually pertains to an inner moving voice line when he changes chords. Okay, so just to start, hope I don't screw this up, but it's thumb, index, thumb, thumb, index, index, thumb, index. Now, the way I just played that is very plain. It's just like very even. Okay, the roll really isn't even when it's at a high speed, low speed, whether you're in 12/8, and so it's not just straight ahead like eighth notes in 4/4. So let me just play it evenly again, which is rather bland. I mean, that's all pretty and well and good, and I use that a lot of times when I'm accompanying other guitar players, just as like to add a little something like a lead thing. I cop that roll all the time because it's so cool. But the way you want to do it is the accents on the second beat, so it's like, and that makes it far more interesting. So I'm using the D-shaped fingering up at the 7th and 8th fret, which makes it a G chord. So you have that open D. So you can practice with the open D on that too. So it's like, so your first note is that open D, and then that just like rings through the entire roll. Now here's something that's really cool. I believe I got this from Stephen Grossman. He'll go from that G, as I'm going to move this, that G shape down to the D7th. So that's the D7th. There's all different kinds of ways to play it. It's the 5th fret of the 3rd and 1st string, 7th fret of the 2nd string. But notice, your fingers never leave the strings. So when you're going from that G shape, you're sliding it down. Now it's a little bit of a stretch, but so economical in what you're trying to do. It's in tons of Davis songs in G. So you don't get bored just playing that roll. You want to start putting it to use that might be in songs. So if you go from that G to this D7th, then you have the open D as a common tone between the two. So when you get it going, it'll be, so you get that little inner voice right there. So when you do it with the open D string, it's almost like it's 3, as I'm trying to hold 3 fingers, or as they would do in Glorious Bastards, 3. It's like 3 voices. You have the D drone, you have the fill notes, and you have that inner line. And that's the key to finger picking. You don't want, all notes are not equal. You want to have some separation between church and state, so to speak, to make it musical. It doesn't matter whether you're playing this loud, soft, whatever. And you can bring out different notes. If you want that note to go to this note, that's fine. And then that's going to go to our G here. And that's one of the keys to Davis, that inner voice of counterpoint line movement. So there, I'm not bringing out that second beat. I'm bringing out that line that I want. And you don't have to play like all eighth notes. He'll vary it. So you might want to go, for example, so I'm not playing the last eighth note. There's all kinds of variations. But don't, I mean, when you're first learning it, okay, get it smooth and even. But the way you make it musical is to bring out those notes. And I'm telling you, you're going to play this in a ton of songs where it goes from that shape to this shape, which is G to D seventh, and then it resolves to the G. So as you're practicing it, and you're going to use this in Davis songs, you might as well get used to playing that D seventh like that. I don't see a lot of people playing it that way. Most people will bar it somehow with this finger, and then there's the full D7th, which you will do sometimes, which is like this. So you're playing 4 strings. That's 7th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret. Davis will use that, especially when he has progressions that are he wants to go up or down in the key of G or D. But that full, then your A is the open bass. And you can alternate between the open D and A in this roll as you're transitioning to one place and the other. There's the D. Sorry. So that way you get a bass line going too. So just think about all these different things when you're practicing. And that D7th is usually going to go to that F-shaped G chord. So just practice those 3 in a row. See, and here you can do it with the flatted finger if you want. This guy's barring off the 3 strings and to here. But the most economical way is to don't let your fingers leave the string. You just widen up the shape. 7 and 5, and then it's going to resolve to the G. Okay? So, in closing here, you want to make sure that you don't play them even. It's like you're bringing out a melody note. There's like melody notes in the roll, and then there's fill notes that aren't a big deal, but you still have to play them and everything. They add to the whole sound. Practice just making that shape change. So that's 1, 5, 1, but when you get it going, and there you have it, the Davis roll. Move that other places, it's in different keys, but that's his most common guy, is right there. Alright, take care, play some Davis.